Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn accounting principles. Till now we have learned about accounting. Then in this chapter we have learned about bookkeeping. Then what is bookkeeping? Its objectives, meaning, then advantages and limitations we have studied. It is the primary stage of accounting. Then accounting is that recording, classifying, analyzing and interpreting the financial information. Then accountancy is the systematic knowledge of accounting process, and it contains the standards, principles, procedures, policies, everything that is followed in accounting. So now we are going to learn the accountancy. So bookkeeping we have learned, you know what is accounting. So that accountancy is the subject that we learn about the accounting principles, policies, procedures, everything. Okay, now we will learn this accounting principles. This is the very important heading, that we are going to learn about the concepts and the conventions that will come under this accounting principles. Around 10 concepts are there and 4 conventions are there. If you learn and if you understand this only, you can do the problems in accountancy throughout your lifetime. So these 14 points you should understand very clearly. That is the rules and regulations that is followed universally. That is, the whole world will be following the same principles. So you should understand. Then they may ask you the different twisted questions from this topic only. Directly they will not ask. Okay? Directly, what is this concept? What is that concept? No. They will give an example. This is based on which principle or which concept? Explain. So you should know that example will come under which concept. So for that only I am giving all this introduction. So listen carefully this accounting principles. So what is the meaning of principle? Accounting principle. So these are the basic norms or conditions. Some rules. Norms means that rules and regulations, and assumptions. That means the conditions. Basic norms and conditions, they are developed to establish the accounting system. They are the basic norms. Basis of accounting system, we can say the accounting principles. These accounting principles are accepted universally. Throughout the world, they will follow these basic norms and assumptions. Only then with that accounting principle followed throughout the world will be same principles. So we can compare one units or one business organization's accounts with the other business organization, because almost all the organization in the whole world are following the same norms, same rules and regulations. So we can say there will be uniformity. Same means that uniformity is there. Then consistency, one word. Consistency means that நிலைத்தன்மை. So this year and next year, after 10 years, the same rules and regulation will be followed. Here everywhere the same, and for years it will be the same rules and regulations will be followed. This accounting principles are called generally accepted accounting principles. Universally accepted, now they have changed as new word, generally accepted accounting principles. Generally everywhere the same is followed. So it is called in short GAAP, GAAP. They may ask as the one word answer, generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP. So we can say this GAAP is the basic framework That is what the lesson name, isn't it? Basic framework. That we have heard the frame, that photo with the frame, isn't it? The same example I said yesterday also. So that within that framework, what we keep the photo, isn't it? In the same way, in this framework, what is the framework? This accounting principles. So within this framework, we prepare the accounting records and reports. Accounting records and reports. Then only it give full meaning. It looks beautiful, isn't it? So that will be within that framework. It will not be shapeless. It will have a full shape if it is within this framework. That means if we follow this generally accepted accounting principles all over the world, then the accounting records and reports give the beautiful shape. That means everybody can understand. Okay, that accounting principles you might have studied. Now, another word, accounting standards. Accounting standards also there. This we can say, this accounting standards are also issued by different authorities, universal authorities, international or national authorities. National authorities or international authorities will develop the accounting standards. National and international. So here also we can say, because it is the authorities, they frame this accounting standards nationally and internationally, we can have the same advantage. It will be same. Uniformity will be there. Uniformity and consistency will be there. Consistency, I said the permanency, the meaning. Permanence. That will permanently we follow the same accounting standards. Okay, all these are the basis of accounting. Basis. Okay, base or the basement we can say. Again this accounting principles, we can say it is a combination of two. One is accounting concepts. Accounting concepts. The other one is accounting conventions. We know these concepts. What are the concepts? These are the, we can say, the norms and conditions or assumptions. Norms and assumptions that we studied, not the principles. So assumptions or the conditions upon which what we laid, the accounting has been laid. So we can say this is the foundation. The rules, the principles. It is the foundation upon which what is built, accounting is built. Now what are the conventions? The difference between the concepts and convention. This convention refers to the traditions. These are the rules that we must follow, but here the conventions are the traditions or the usage of some norms. Traditionally, from the beginning, we are following some traditions or the usage of some rules and regulations are followed. They are the conventions. So these are the combination, that accounting concept, accounting principles are the combination of two, accounting concept and accounting conventions. What is accounting concept? It is the basic assumptions or conditions upon which accounting has been laid. Then accounting conventions are the usage or traditions or some practice. We do some practice. Okay, the practices that are followed as a guide for the preparation of the accounting statements, accounting records. Some we follow. that we use for years. That we can say that is the tradition. Understood now? Now we will learn the first the accounting concept around 10 here 4. The first one is business entity concept. Business entity concept. I have already taught this one. It's the main concept. Before say I might have told you this is the concept. So business entity concept, first one, foremost, very important one. What does it mean, business entity concept? It implies that here business unit, when we run a business, that is called business unit. Another one who is investing money, he is called the proprietor or the owner, or one who invests capital. One who invests capital. So here he is investing money into the business unit, isn't it? Business unit. So here it is what does this business entity concept says? Here the business unit is separate from the proprietor. Both are separate. Here business unit is separate and the proprietor is another one. Why they are saying this one? Because here the proprietor is investing money in this business unit in order to earn profit. So we should consider, that is the concept, we should consider this business unit as the separate unit from the proprietor. Then all the transactions that we prepare, all the transactions are entered or recorded in the books of accounts from the viewpoint of the business, not the owner's point of view, but only the business point of view, not the owner's point of view. Here you should understand all his personal transactions. For example, if he is bringing up 2-3 children, all the money that he spent for his children will not be confused with the business transaction. Business is considered a separate unit from his personal transactions, but some personal transactions are entered in the business unit, that one, because this is also personal, isn't it? He is investing money into the business. Here they consider this as a liability because the owner is spending money to the business unit, that should be returned back to the owner because that is considered as an investment, that is called as the capital of the business. Understood? That is considered as the capital and that will be the liability of the business. Why liability of the business? Because the business has to return this capital to the proprietor. And sometimes he might have withdrawn money. He might have withdrawn money from the business. So that will reduce his capital. If he withdraw more money from the business every day, what will happen? His capital will get reduced. At last he will suffer a great loss. So that should be considered. If he has withdrawn any amount from the business, that should be considered. This too will be recorded. Understand? Because it will affect his balance sheet. If he withdraw more money from the business, it will reduce his capital. And if in opposite to this one, if he has introduced additional capital, that also he can do, isn't it? Introduced additional capital. that will improve his business. So that should also be considered. That is why that business is separate from the business. Business is separate from the owner of that business. Understood? Only business transactions are entered in the books of accounts, not his personal transactions. But some personal transactions are recorded, especially the capital introduced by the owner, then any cash withdrawn by the proprietor, or any additional capital introduced by the proprietor in the business, all related to his business. That is why we are considering them. But any other personal transactions, example, that your school fees paid, no, not considered. But if the school fees is paid from his business, that will be considered as the withdrawal. Okay, so school fees he paid from his salary, or if he has done any job outside his business, that is not considered. Understand? But if the school fees is paid from the business, if he has withdrawn that money from the business, that will be considered, that will be recorded in the books of account, because it affects the business. Any transactions, any business transactions that affect the business, that will be recorded. But any other transactions which does not affect the business, even though it is personal transactions, they are not recorded. That is why I say business is considered separate from the proprietor. I think you might have understood this business entity concept. Next one, money measurement concept. Second one, money measurement concept. This concept also I have taught you already. Okay, just as a recollection, I can explain once again. So what does this money measurement concept say? Here, that all the transactions which can be measured in terms of money only will be entered in the books of accounts. Understood? All the transactions which can be expressed in terms of money. We write everything in money value, rupees. Our currency is rupees. So all the transactions which can be expressed in terms of money only can be entered in the books of accounts. So non-monetary transactions cannot be entered in the books of accounts. Non-monetary transactions cannot be entered in the books of accounts. Example, I have told you that efficiency of the manager. If a manager is very efficient and he makes all the workers work sincerely and to do hard work, and because of their hard work they have produced a lot of products in a particular year. Because of large production, they were able to sell more in the market. So that particular year they were able to get a lot of profit. But that cannot be expressed in the books of accounts. But that year's profit will be shown more, but salary will be the same. Even if another manager comes in the next year with less efficiency, he doesn't know how to run the business, he doesn't know how to contact with his employees, torturing them. Because of his torture, they were not able to work properly. So the production, they may not work sincerely. So production went down, and that year they have got less profit. But no one can find out why that profit has gone down, because that is not entered in the books of accounts. So that is having some limitation also. So these are the limitation, money measurement concept. Okay, we cannot enter the non-monetary transactions. So only all the transactions which can be expressed in terms of money only can be entered in the books of accounts. because money only is the medium of exchange, isn't it? If we purchase, how much we have purchased, we never say. We say sometime 1 kg of rice, 2 kg that vegetables, all these we purchase. But how much we have purchased, we will write in the amount. Only then we can calculate the total amount, how much we have purchased, isn't it? In the books of accounts also, furniture, we never enter that furniture, 5 chair, 2 table, we never write. But we express that value only, asset, furniture, 10,000, land, 1 lakh. Like that only we enter in the books of accounts. Understood? Or the any working conditions in the factory, or any other that employees can make any strike, because of that the production might have gone down. All these cannot be entered in the books of accounts. I think it is very easy, you might have understood. The next one, going concern concept. Going concern concept. Going concern concept. Here, that everybody will run an institution or business organization in order to run for a long term. In the long term, that means it is going concern means it will be continuing its operations for a long time. That means it will be for a long time. Understand? It is continuing its operations for a long time. It never will any businessman start an organization in order to run for 1 or 2 years. No. He will be planning to run that organization for years. Even after his death, the same organization may be run by his children. So that is going concern concept. They will be running for a long time. And why it is coming under this accounting? Why it is coming under a concept means in this concept only we are preparing the accounting, because we purchase the assets, or we have the liabilities, assets, liabilities, and this one we are entering in the cost that you are going to learn in the next one. That they will what we are entering in the cost price. Then every year we will reduce 1% as depreciation, and we will show the net amount only in the books of accounts. Again, next year we will reduce another percentage of depreciation, and we will write the net amount. So every year we will reduce some percentage as depreciation. Why? Because this depreciation is calculated because of this concept, going concern concept. We imagine that we are going to use that particular asset for about 20 years or for 10 years. What does it mean? We are going to run this organization more than this years. So after the completion of this years, this asset will value will become 0. So what they have to do? They have to purchase, they have to replace this asset, and they have to purchase another asset. For that they have to reduce one amount. This amount will be saved in another plan, and that amount will be used to replace this machine. So another machine is coming. So this going concern concept is used for this accounting purpose. For this purpose only they are following this going concern concept. And another concept, accrual, not concept. Under this going concern we follow this accrual. This accrual concept also another concept only. Accrual basis we say, isn't it? Accrual basis. at mercantile basis. We do not follow the cash basis. We are for example, we are selling some amount, we are selling some product, we are not getting that amount on that particular year. Next year only we are going to receive that amount. That actual receipt payment we never consider, but what we consider, whether we have sold on that particular year. So this accrual basis, all these related to this going concern concept. Then we will calculate the outstanding expenses, then accrued income, all these are based on this going concern concept. We never imagine that we are going to run this institution for a short period, so we need to complete all the receipts and payments within a year. We never think. What we think, next year's we have to take in the next year. This one will be explained in another concept. You will understand there. Okay. So now you have to think, this going concern concept is that the business is a going concern. It doesn't come to an end within a short period of time, but the organization is continuing its operations for a long period of time. So on this basis, on this practice only, we value the assets and liabilities, depreciation of fixed assets we are calculated, then treatment of outstanding expense, then that accrued income, then that unearned revenue, everything we are treating because of this concept. Okay, then the next fourth concept is cost concept. Cost concept. Here you will understand this more clearly, because it is just related to the assets only. Because when we purchase the assets, they are recording in the books of accounts at the historical cost. What is the meaning of historical cost? Acquisition cost. In accounting, all these are the terms: historical cost, acquisition cost, or purchase price. That is a simple word. It is the purchase price. So for accounting purpose, we are recording the value of assets at historical cost only. What is the meaning? Historical cost or acquisition cost or the purchase price of the asset. I will say one example. If we purchase a machinery at a value of rupees 50,000, we record them. We bought a machinery for 50,000. That is the purchase price. That is called acquisition cost or the historical cost. We are purchasing this for 50,000, and then next we are following that going concern concept, that depreciation we will provide, isn't it? So if it is 10%, 5,000 will be coming. So at the end of this year we will have 45,000, and next year what will have? We will again 10%, the same. Different methods are there. Valuation of depreciation, this straight line method. Every year same depreciation will be provided. So next year end, how much we will have? 40,000. So after 10 years it will come to an end. The value will become 0. Nothing will be there. So they have to. But in practice, in books only we are entering like this. But in practice, this machinery's cost after 5 years, it may increase to 1 lakh. But when we see in this books of accounts, we will see after 5 years around 25,000 only will be in the books of accounts. But actually, if we go to sell that particular machinery in the market, we can realize around 50,000. We can get 50,000 amount. That is the demerit in this cost concept. And increase in price is not considered. Only we are recording the value of assets at its historical cost, in its acquisition cost or purchase price. Understood? So any increase in price changes or price level changes is not considered. Increase in price is not considered. Then because some assets, we can say human resources, that is also considered as asset, that cannot be considered at historical cost. Okay, so all these are the limitations of this cost concept. I think you might have understood. All the assets are recorded in the books of accounts at its historical cost. That's all. Now the fifth one is dual aspect concept. Dual aspect concept. This is the basic one. Bookkeeping, double entry, everything will come under this dual aspect concept. From its word itself, we can understand dual aspect means what? Two aspects. Dual means we know two aspects. So what are the two aspects? Every transaction has two aspects. One will be the receiving aspect, again that you will learn again in the next lesson. Okay, receiving aspect, giving aspect. Receiving aspect, giving aspect, or we can say debit aspect, credit aspect. Every transaction has two aspects. If one is receiving, another will be giving. One is debit, the other will be credit. So this is the fundamental of the double entry bookkeeping system. Double entry bookkeeping system. This is the fundamental. That means main thing that we should know when we are going to prepare the journal entries. For the first step in accounting process is the journalizing. For that you need, in the next lesson you will learn this one very clearly. Now you should know, for every transaction or event there are two aspects. If one is the debit aspect, other will be the credit aspect. So we can say if there is, for example, I will say one example. The businessman is, or the owner is introducing. Here we have learnt now. The proprietor invest money in the business. That is called the capital. Capital how much? 1 lakh. So how he brings that capital as cash? So cash is also capital. So this we can say cash is the asset. Liability, this capital is the liability. Liability means we can say that is the capital, isn't it? Because the business is liable to pay. Liable means that poruppu we can say. That business is liable to pay back that capital to the owner. With his capital only he is purchasing, that is bringing cash, isn't it? Or with his capital he may purchase some other asset also, land, building, any other thing. So it is the amount invested by, that is the transaction amount invested by the proprietor. So liability, it is considered as the liability. The liability for the business to repay that amount to the owner. So we should have one debit aspect, this one credit aspect. Because for the business, this cash is coming inside. This one is coming this one again, the first concept it is coming. First, what is the first concept? Business entity concept. So with that business point of view only, we have to enter the transactions. So we have to see. So what is coming within the business? The cash is coming within the organization, so it is an asset and it is considered as the liability because the business has to repay that amount to the owner. Understood? This also you will learn in the next lesson, third lesson, very clearly. This is the fundamental, that basis we are going to prepare the journal entries. Now we will mark the question answers. What is meant by accounting concepts? It is under the heading Accounting Principles, third paragraph. Accounting concepts are the basic assumptions or conditions upon which accounting has been laid. First point. Second one, accounting concepts provide unifying structure to the accounting process and accounting reports. These 2 points. Okay. This definition of bookkeeping, I have told you, when I was explaining yesterday itself, I have told you to learn. You might have studied, isn't it? So now we will see the short answer, second one. Only monetary transactions are recorded in accounting. Explain the statement. Like this only they will give. This is also given under this, that concept, second concept. Under this one you have to mark. This concept implies that only those transactions which can be expressed in terms of money are recorded. Then here you can write, transactions which do not involve money will not be recorded in the books of accounts. Then example also you can write. So up to here you can write this sentence and these 2 sentences. Okay. If you need also, you can write some more points. Understand? So you have you may not learn only this one what I have marked, but you should read this, that up to 5 concepts. You have to read everything and you have to try to understand. If you don't understand any concept, you can ask me in the phone, because it is very, very important that you have to understand these concepts. Otherwise you will not be able to understand all the other lessons. Okay students, so read well and learn the question answers. Thank you.